Ripcord Test Designer and Test Management Tool, which is developed by TestClean Solutions Private Limited. Ripcord is the next generation of test case design and test management software. There are many freeware and shareware tools available in the line of test management software. Example: Quality Center, Spira, Jira, Zephyr, etc. All these are popular tools help to manage the requirements, test cases, releases, and generate reports. But none of the tools help you to design the test cases quickly and economically. The tool, which is developed by TestClean Solutions Private Limited, provides you with control of every stage of testing lifecycle, such as from the test planning to reports generation. And this is the only tool has the test case design solutions and manage them throughout the lifecycle. This tool is a domain and technology independent. In this tool, there are many solutions that are available, such as create test based on the objects, definition test for the actions which are transactional, menu test. If you have any menu or structure in place, design the test case for the entire menu using menu test. Field level inputs. For a page, it has many fields and it covers various inputs. You can design the test case using field level tests. If the workflow in place, for which we design the test cases using modular based tests. If the screen shot in place, we can use the GUI test for designing the test cases. For any pagination vanilla flavor, we can use the pagination test. Ripcord Test Designer and Test Management Tool architecture given in the slides below. Apart from the test management lifecycle, there are a couple of productivity tools which helps for test engineer to execute the test cases quickly, and also there are many test case design solutions which helps for designing the test cases effectively and economically. And you see, from the first node of the workflow is the manage project, which when the project kick off and the project and details will be entered here, and move on to the modules and then requirements, child requirements associated to a parent requirement. You can create a scenario for a parent requirement or child requirement and move. And next important activity for the test case design, these test cases can be designed for a requirement or for a scenario. Afterwards, you can associate either requirement, scenario or test cases to a release and push them to execution. During execution, any defect arises, using the manage defect screen, user can log the defects, and finally it generates the reports at various roles at various interfaces. As we discussed before, there are core features available in the Ripcord Test Management tool, such as the test case design solutions. All the test case design solutions are highlighted in the workflow. Later on, we are going to discuss one by one in the next slide. But in this slide, we are going to discuss about the purpose of modular based test. The modular based test helps you to design the end-to-end test cases with consistent step and expert results for the complex workflow and simple workflows. Now we have taken a very simple example which is known to everybody as Gmail or Yahoo email, and the workflow as given at the top is a login, inbox, draft and logout, which are interlinked, and we call login, inbox, logout, drafts are called as nodes, and there is a connectivity between two nodes we call as event. Based on the workflow, all the nodes can be entered into the system. As soon as the nodes are entered into the system takes care of displaying the nodes and the nodes are represented in the horizontal and vertical form. The test engineer is going to select and unselect the checkboxes of the respective workflow. Once the relationship is built based on the workflow. All the events will be generated automatically in the tabular form, and the test engine is going to provide the step and expect result for each of the event which is generated by the system. Afterwards, the system it takes care of generating the end-to-end scenarios, and I create end-to-end test cases for the given workflow with the step and expected result. Let us move on to see in the application how our modular based test helps to identify the scenarios and generate the test cases for the given workflow. Here is the screen of Ripcord Test Designer and Test Management tool, and how it navigates to the modular based test. To navigate to the page, navigate to the page of modular based test, navigate to create a workflow for a specific requirement. The test engineer can select the requirement from the requirement ID, or maybe if the workflow is specific to the child requirement, the child requirement can be selected, and based on the workflow all the nodes will be entered, and the entered nodes will be displayed into the list of nodes list box. After creating all the nodes of the workflow, click a display button. It generates the table with the nodes in horizontal and vertical form along with the checkboxes. Based on the workflow and based on the connectivity between the node to node, the test engineer simply click the checkbox. Afterwards, clicking an event, all the events will be generated automatically. After this, the test engineer provide step and expect result for each an event. Once complete the steps and expect result for all the events by clicking on a scenario button. All the scenarios will be generated along with the steps and expect result. Once end-to-end scenarios and test cases are readily available, and user is going to tag the priority, severity, status and keywords, whether it is automatable or not, and also you can specify whether it is a positive test case or negative test case. Later on, save the information by clicking the save. After clicking the save information, display in the below table. In case there is a workflow change or the requirement changes, simply clicking edit button to modify the workflow or to modify the events, and generates the test cases automatically using modular based tests. Now look at the benefits of modular based test, which is on applying workflow or the flowchart. It saves 60% of the designing of the test case effort. It generates the scenarios automatically rather than writing that scenario, identify the scenarios and write the test cases. It generates all non-repetitive and useful test cases, and it is more effective for small and complex workflows or the flowcharts. The main purpose of bringing the modular based test, it helps for identifying the user acceptance test cases very quickly from the workflow and for quick execution, and also it helpful for considered all these scenarios or the test cases for the regression test with consistent step and expect result. And now, apart from the test designer, as we discussed about test management tool, what are the different phases that are available in the test management tool? It is a management phase where you can create a projects, set up user authentication and authorization, and also set up permissions to the various roles, and also track the requirements and scenarios. In the test case phase, there are a couple of solutions are in place which helps for designing the test cases quickly, and also And also there is a review phase, execution phase, report phase. In the execution phase, not only for the execution, the test engineer can log the defects and track to closure using defect lifecycle. Thanks for viewing the demo. If you have any questions or more details, go to www.testgleam.com, which is located in Bangalore.